from WQAD, this is News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
Good morning, welcome. It is Wednesday, June 17th. I'm Julie Sisk.
And I'm Jonathan Ketz. Thanks for joining us. We are monitoring the river levels this morning. And of course, our own meteorologist Eric Sorensen is live in Moline at the Rock River. Eric, give us the situation right now there.
The situation is we continue to have water level that is rising. Now, I know that a lot of rivers are in flood stage, including the Mississippi, the Wapsie, even the Iowa River down toward Oakville. But keep in mind, a lot of these rivers have already crested. So the reason that we're talking more about the Rock River this morning is the fact that these water levels are rising. And in many spots, we go into major flood and even higher than what we had last year. You remember the significant flooding that we had last year in the summer months, mainly focused on the Mississippi, not necessarily the Rock River, but we are going to see that continue to rise here. Want to get you caught up on the radar picture here, and you can see on Storm Track 8 that we do have some rain continuing to move up from the south and the southwest here this morning. That will be dotting the skies, just adding insult to injury. Not expecting terribly heavy rain out of that. Right now in the Quad Cities, temperatures are into the upper 50s and low 60s, so it's not terribly bad temperature-wise outside. Keep in mind the temperatures will be going up along with the humidity levels in the next couple of hours or so. So let's plan your day as we go up to about 78 degrees later on this afternoon. So temperatures are going to be tolerable today. However, the scattered showers are going to be around as well. We'll take a look at the live river gauges and the forecast as we head through the next couple of days coming up, and more on Good Morning Quad Cities. I'll send it back to you guys up the hill in the studio.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Eric. Well, we continue to check in with Eric throughout the rest of Good Morning Quad Cities. As he said, we'll be getting not only the weather forecast, but the river levels as well. With all the standing water, mosquitoes are becoming a bigger problem. Now, the Rock Island County Health Department reports a mosquito has tested positive for the West Nile virus. The recent rain left behind a lot of standing water, which will likely increase the amount of mosquitoes in the area. Most of the floodwater mosquitoes, those come out in bunches and don't carry the West Nile virus, but those that can carry the virus are likely found in small pockets of standing water or gutters and bird baths.
It's nothing to get alarmed about now, but it does show that the virus is circulating, and as time goes on, we'll have more positive tests probably.
The Rock Island County Health Department would also like people who find dead birds to notify them. They are a potential sign of the West Nile virus.
Crews in Dixon, Illinois are continuing to repair a street that collapsed when a culvert busted. The culvert left a huge hole right off the side of 7th Street. Here's some of the video. The newly elected mayor toured the damage yesterday. He says there was so much rust on the culvert that it gave way during all the water pressure from the flash floods. The mayor tells News 8 he will hold a special meeting to discuss the damages tomorrow. He expects damages will cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Drivers will have to find a new route when a busy intersection is closed east of the Quad Cities. US 6 and Route 84 near Kelowna is set to close sometime after the 4th of July. Crews are adding turn lanes and traffic signals. IDOT gave drivers a heads up about the detours. The closure is expected to last 3 months. Traffic on US 6 will use Interstate 280 as the major east-west detour.
Rock Island County is moving ahead with plans for a scaled-down courthouse expansion. Supervisors approved the first move last night, and as News 8's Megan Noe reports, some are looking forward to a court challenge that's sure to come. Administrator Dave Ross says the board would still have to approve the design and final cost. He says no additional taxes will be needed for construction. The latest plan does not include a solution for overcrowding at the county administration building, but some leaders say a possible fix could be turning the old courthouse into office space.
Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner is taking the budget battle to the airwaves.
Madigan and the politicians he controls refuse to change. They're saying no to spending discipline, no to job-creating economic reforms, no to term limits. All they want is higher taxes. Again.
Now, Rauner's office released these ads. He says that he's frustrated with the Democrats right now for not putting forth a balanced budget with the new fiscal year only weeks away. But Democrats accuse the governor of being unwilling to compromise.
Concerning the governor's TV ad, I would just say what I've said previously, that TV ad takes this to the extreme. It takes it away from moderation.
The new fiscal year begins on July 1st.
Friends and family met to remember a young Iowa boy who was found dead inside a burned out vehicle just south of the Missouri border. Logan Habibovic was at the center of an Amber Alert issued last week. Police say the 9-month-old boy was taken by his father, Elvis Habibovic. Elvis's body was found also in the vehicle. Last night, a candlelight vigil was held to remember Logan. His mother says there are no words to explain her pain.
I never thought I would do this. I never did. Like, take him, maybe, yes. But kill him, no.
Zamet says she believes her ex took their son because he was depressed over their recent breakup.
A woman killed inside a Coralville mall will be laid to rest this morning. 20-year-old Andrea Farrington was shot at Coral Ridge Mall on Friday. Farrington was a 2012 graduate of Montezuma High School, and she'll be remembered at the city's Community Hope of Church at 10:30 a.m. 22-year-old Alexander Kozak of North Liberty is charged with first-degree murder. Police say he was fired from his security guard position at the mall the day before the shooting. Farrington's family members say she complained Kozak had been harassing her. The West Des Moines Bomb Squad was called to Valley West Mall after someone found several large boxes outside of the Yonkers store. The boxes were x-rayed and eventually it was determined they were filled with clothes. The police say it's always better to be safe than sorry. The store and the rest of the mall stayed open during that investigation.
Now, your local traffic report, only on News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
It's time once again for Total Travel, and we are looking live at the Centennial Bridge this time. You can see the rain continues to fall, no travel problems, even though the traffic is down to one lane in each direction here because of the construction project. Traffic's a little bit slow going, but not backed up in any way so far.
Checking with traffic here in just a little bit once again. Time right now is 5:38. Still ahead right here on Good Morning Quad Cities. Optimistic outcome.
What a teenager who was attacked by a shark is saying happened that day and how he plans to move forward with his life.
And we're looking at some rainfall that is coming down across the region. I'll let you know how long this lasts and where the water is going to go as major flooding continues on the Rock River. Continuing coverage coming up next here on Good Morning Quad Cities.
He's out at the Rock River in Moline.
Of course, we've been checking on the river levels this morning, and meteorologist Eric Sorensen joining us now from the Rock River. You're down at Harold's Landing, and the reason why you're there is because the Rock River is going to continue to rise.
Yeah, the Rock River will continue to rise for at least the next 24 hours. We've kind of taken a little shelter from the rain underneath the I-74 overpass here on Shore Drive. So that's the reason I don't have an umbrella, because of our strategic planning. I do want to show you, when we first got here to our live shot here along the Rock River, I placed one of the cones in the back of the live truck right over there, kind of on the edge of the water, to give us an idea of how the water level is rising, because it may not necessarily be noticeable to you unless you are here watching it for a long period of time. So it is still just barely in the water, but it is noticeable to us since we've gotten here that the water is continuing to rise. And that's the type of level that will continue to be a problem as we go through the next 24 hours. I want to show you the river gauges right now. We start you off toward Joslyn, and that's upriver from us here in Moline. Now it's rising into moderate flood. I mean, it's not of epic proportions. We're not talking about extreme catastrophic damage out of this, but a crest is not going to come in Joslyn until tomorrow afternoon. And that means that all of that water will flow down here toward the Quad Cities. So let's take you to the river gauge in Moline. Entering moderate flood now. So this is considered a moderate flood. A major flood is possible by the time this crests Friday morning. That's 2.5 feet off of its record high, to put that in perspective for a lot of the homeowners around here. At its current forecast, it will be 6 inches higher than it was at its peak last summer. So if you live along the river and you know how high it got last summer, I want you to think about it being 6 inches higher. At least that's a potential. What I want you to prepare for here by the time I get in toward Friday morning. All right, so now 14.4. I want you to remember that number. At 12 feet, residences near 27th Street Bridge. Now that's just to the west of the landing over there, the boat launch. Those are affected. At 13 feet, South Shore Drive, which is what we're standing on, is cut off under I-74, so you won't be able to get to where we are once we get above 13 feet. Also at 13 feet, flooding of some yards out in Coal Valley along US 6. At 14 feet, 60th Street south of John Deere Road. Of course, the sports complexes are out there. They're going to go underwater. Also at 14 feet, North Shore Drive west of 27th Street will get flooded. Should we get higher than the forecast of 14.4, 15 feet, 52nd Avenue is closed behind Target and Hy-Vee. So we're talking about a pretty significant flood here. Doppler radar shows continued rain, and this weather pattern, unfortunately, will continue to give us rain in these river basins, so that's not good as well. That you need to prepare for the water level to rise at least a couple of feet higher than the really high level that we have behind us right now. And we'll continue to keep you updated. We'll check on my cone coming up as we head through Good Morning Quad Cities.
See far it's gotten up. We appreciate that, Eric. All right, your time right now is 5:45, and also this morning, speaking of weather, after hitting the Texas coast hard yesterday, Tropical Storm Bill has been downgraded this morning to a tropical depression. Residents of the Gulf Coast are trying to deal with the aftermath this morning with the threat of flash floods continuing for 6 other states. Lana Zach has our extreme weather coverage.
Another day in paradise.
The rainwater was calf high in Seabrook, Texas, after Tropical Storm Bill, now a tropical depression, drenched the area with heavy rains, wind gusts, and high waves. After flash floods during the Memorial Day holiday led to the deaths of approximately 30 people, emergency management officials took extra precautions to mitigate the effects of this storm, closing down streets and warning residents of the danger. While up in the sky, the hurricane hunters of the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron monitored the storm.
We saw very strong winds on the east side of this thing. A lot of rain, no real defined center. It's very broad, a very broad circulation.
That broad circulation putting a large portion of the country at risk of flash floods. Those warnings continuing today. But the hardest hit of all, Texas. Firefighters in Houston were on alert during the storm and rescued one little guy caught in the deluge.
He was out front, just squealing, making all kinds of noise and ruckus. Brought him inside, gave him a bath, gave him another bath.
The firefighters say they've named him Ruckus for all the noise he was making.
He whittled his way into our hearts.
And now this storm is triggering tornado warnings throughout Texas and Oklahoma in areas that still haven't recovered from last month's floods. In Washington, Lana Zach, ABC News.
Now, flash flood bulletins are still being issued this morning, though the impact of Tropical Depression Bill is now waning. Well, a Texas reporter who was covering Tropical Storm got a little bit of a fright while on the air.
We're sitting right here in front of Clear Creek. You can see it over here to the left of me. This is an area where, sorry, there's the biggest snake in the world right behind me in the water. Can you see that right there? Can you pull in on that snake?
I'm looking for, is that it right by the, oh my gosh. All right, well, so we can see he has a bit of a fear for snakes.
Even if you're not afraid, it's kind of a unnerving situation.
KTRK, that is, says this was John Finaglio's first tropical storm since joining their team. And so the snake gave him a warm welcome on the air. He says that later on that snake and cockroaches are something that he can't stand.
I mean, I guess it could be worse.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to see in the water.
Scary situation.
Well, a teen seriously injured after a shark attack in North Carolina says he felt the big fish before he saw it. In an interview, 16-year-old Hunter Trushell says that he was playing in the waves when he felt the hit on his left calf. Trushell says he felt the shark hit him again before he saw it bite his arm off. The 16-year-old was able to get out of the water with the help of his cousin. The Colorado Springs teen says he is going to try to live a normal life despite the loss of his dominant hand.
It seems to me kind of like at a certain point I've lost my arm, obviously, so I have kind of two options. I can try to live my life the way I was and make an effort to do that even though I don't have an arm, or I can kind of just let this be completely debilitating and bring my life down and ruin it in a way.
His great attitude. The young girl who was attacked less than an hour and a half before Hunter lost her arm. Doctors say they believe that they can save her injured leg, though. Bridge, once again, you can see it's raining out there this morning, but not creating any travel problems here on the I-74 bridge, so that's some good news.
And before the break, we asked you how many seeds are in a pomegranate.
The answer is 1,000. That's an estimated number.
Estimated number, that makes sense.
Kathy from Geneseo answered correctly and wins a family 4-pack of admissions to Whitewater Junction in Rock Island.
Some Tampa airport workers went above and beyond to reunite a boy with his beloved stuffed animal.
They decided to take the furry friend on a little travel adventure to show the 6-year-old Owen that being separated wasn't all that bad. When Tampa International workers got a frantic call from Owen's mom that Hobbs was lost, they put her mind at ease. Not only did they find Hobbs, they took him on a VIP tour of the international airport. You can see here, Hobbs visited the airport gym, the information desk, the tower, even
he did
the
all
fire
kinds
department.
of things.
There he is. The workers sent Hobbs back home along with photos of his adventure.
Very cute little
That's
boy.
fun, yeah.
Well, let's go real quick out to meteorologist Eric Sorensen right now, joining us live west of Harold's Landing under the I-74 bridge and how the river levels are looking at the Rock. All right, look, Eric, can you hear us?
All right, he can
Looks
hear
like his
us.
mic's
We
off. I
can't
think
hear
his mic may
him,
be
but
off.
he's live at the Rock River. Have the latest on the flood levels of the rising river there this morning, and also more on the forecast. It's raining out there right now. Eric says it's not going to be a total washout today.
Right.
He'll let us know when to expect those dry hours just ahead.
And it's still ahead here on Good Morning Quad Cities, hearing the aftermath.
What a 911 dispatcher is saying she heard after the shooting at Coral Ridge Mall last Friday. We'll have that story and more just ahead. You're watching Good Morning Quad Cities.